Hi guys, and welcome back to the newly named channel Hunts and Bunks. This is after my last name is Hunter, and this Alex's last name is Bunkle. Today we're going to be discussing the Arsenal versus Tottenham combined 11 ahead of the North London derby at the weekend. But first, we're just going to discuss the rebrand a little.
Yeah, so we thought, as Thomas and I are now the main two people and the only two people involved in the channel, it would be good to focalize the channel on being just us two and making ourselves a recognizable brand. So, oh, I want to watch Thomas and Alex. I'll search for Hunts and Bunks because I know that's their names. It's just quite a recognizable name rather than Football Fix, which we thought it's a good name, but we think it can be a little bit vague. And there's quite a few other football-based channels that got a similar sort of name. So it's quite nice to set ourselves apart and just provide you all a sort of name that you can recognize us by and know us by.
Yeah,
easily.
we it's also more vibrant as in the color scheme across the page. So hopefully you do like that. It stands out a bit more. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But before we get into it, I just wanted to obviously discuss what we're going to be doing on the channel. I've got at the weekend a Premier League trading card video coming up, but that's just for something a bit different. I wanted to test the water with that. Alex obviously you do a lot of FPL. Obviously, I indulge as well, but you like your FPL videos. And other than that, we're just going to continue with the all-round football talk where we discuss topics going on within the Premier League. At some point, we might bring some like FIFA to the channel. I don't know. That'll just wait and see on that one because there is also a series idea for Football Manager down the road that I've got that I suggested to Alex. So we might bring you that down the road. But they're all in the works. Let us know what you want us to do in the comments below. But without further ado, we'll start off our Arsenal versus Spurs combined 11. And I'll let you go first with who you have put in there.
So just to start off, I think Thomas is going to have a much better idea of who's the right player to put in, considering he's an Arsenal fan. I'll just put that out there as I'm not watching Arsenal every
I'll be
week.
biased. I'll
So
be biased.
Thomas will be biased, but he'll have more of an idea which Arsenal players are the clear ones to put in. So be sure to let me know, Thomas, if I've missed anyone's blatantly that should definitely be in this team. But I'll get straight off. You'll be happy with this.
Hang on, at the end, we'll just do best form player of the season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
out of this team, we pick who's actually been the best player this season.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do that. So I'll go straight into the team. I've got Ramsdale in net. I think he's been the best keeper, not just so far this season, but last season as well. And even as soon as he came in, he looked like he was going to be a really good keeper, and he's been better than Lloris, I think, since he's come in for Arsenal. He's been really solid, really.
I mean, I fully agree. Unsurprisingly, he does have some mistakes in him. There are some shots that you think, oh, you could have done better there. But I think he only 24. You can iron them out of his game. He's better with the ball at his feet than Lloris. And I actually think, even though he has mistakes in him, he has less mistakes in him than Lloris. I know that sounds mad, but I am never confident from watching Lloris. I never look at him and think, I know he's won a World Cup and I know he's captain France, but I never look at him and think you're an elite goalkeeper. I haven't done for about 5 years. I know he's 35 now. But whereas there's other keepers, obviously you feel a bit more assured. But Lloris isn't one of them. And also we are basing it off form this season, and I think it is fair to put Ramsdale in. He has made some pivotal saves at times this season. Granted, he also has let in a few that he shouldn't have done, but his distribution with the ball at his feet has gone up a level this season. I think I put him in purely based off the fact that it's like having another outfield player when you've played a ball into him. He's so good at passing. He's not Edison level by any stretch of the imagination with his feet, but he's getting to be the tier below. For example, I know this is a hot take, but I'd rather have Ramsdale with a ball at his feet than Alisson at this current point in time.
I think that's reasonable. In terms of it at his feet, definitely. Alisson's always had slight issue with how his ball playing ability. But I think Ramsdale's ball playing it's superb. As soon as he came in, he seemed like the perfect player for the Mikel Arteta way. Really.
Oh, his passion as well.
Yeah, he can be a controversial keeper at times in terms of some of his celebrations when for example he saves a pen or Arsenal score and he's knee sliding in his own corner. But yeah, He's a really good goalkeeper, and I think he's rightly deserved to be both our goalkeeper in this combined 11.
Okay, so for right back, because it's off this season, granted it's not his natural position, but out of the two teams, I don't think you can look past Ben White. He's been absolutely fantastic throughout the start of this season, and I think he's kind of gone under the radar because of how good other players have been. For example, William Saliba at Arsenal. Gabriel has stepped up again. White's gone under the radar and how consistently good he's been at right back. Considering it's not his position, I think he's been very, very good. Defensively solid, as you'd expect. He's okay offensively. He's not going to pull up any trees, but it's a centre-back playing right back at the end of the day. And he's really good on the ball, and that's his main facet. So I think Ben White has to be in right back from this season.
Yeah, I've got Ben White as well. I think the issue here is Spurs' right back options. While they've got a lot of wing backs, I think the right back position is a position that while they've got Jez Benson, they needed to strengthen it in terms of getting a first team starter in, because Emerson Royale, I couldn't bring myself to put him in this 11. Despite that, it shows how low I rate him, considering I've put in a centre back who's been a makeshift right back ahead of him. While Ben White's played well in that position, I think Emerson Royale's just not good at all, especially defensively. He's really a bit hopeless, to be honest, defensively. So yeah, I've gone Ben White as well, and he's been fairly solid in all the games. He's never been a big problem, and he's solid defensively as you'd expect from a right back.
Yeah, so we're going to the two centre backs. You go first on this one.
So yeah, I've got Saliba and Dyer are my two as the centre backs. I think Saliba's been really solid for Arsenal, and he's even provided a really good threat in the box as well. A few goals he's got so far this season. And Eric Dyer as well. Both of these centre halves. If this team actually played, the opposition would have a nightmare from corners. Because Eric Dyer has been really good in the penalty area recently, with Spurs having a really good form in set pieces. Almost, they've scored quite a few goals from set pieces this season so far, and Eric Dyer's just been really solid as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I went with the same two actually in defence. Mainly because the thing is, it was touch and go really, because in my head there are four options you can go with here in centre back. You can go Saliba, Dyer, Gabriel Magalhaes, and you can go Romero. And I don't think any option would be wrong.
No.
The only one that I think is sure in, like you have to put him in, is Saliba, just because of how good he's been. Recovery pace. He plays in the same. I'm not saying he's good, but he plays in the same style as Van Dijk, as in like he'll drop back and cover in and be quite dominant physically, calm on the ball, good at passing. He has been one of the standouts this season in terms of defenders. Eric Dyer, I just want to touch on. I thought he was finished at the top level. I'm going to be honest. Not even a year ago now. He got dropped out of England. He wasn't very good. Conte's come in and obviously plays a back three, so it does sort of help, because I don't think you have to be the best defender to play in a back three. I think that's a fair comment, but his attributes are perfect for what Conte likes: resilient, good at heading, aggressive, wins his aerial duels. And I think Eric Dyer has really come leaps and bounds under this system. I think he's also upped his game in terms of his leadership. He now sort of galvanizes that back line. So Dyer does make it, and I think it's a fair selection. Now we go on to left back, and there's a few options that you can go here. You can go Kieran Tierney, who's obviously come back from injury and played very well recently. You can go Zinchenko, who started the season off really well and, however, got injuries. But for me, surprisingly, against my Arsenal, the two amazing mainstays at left back that Arsenal have, I've actually gone for Ryan Sessegnon. He's really going through a breakout campaign at Spurs. He's attacking really well. He's powerful in the play. He's basically what Conte wants from a wing back when you look at his actual attributes: quick, strong, good at, like, decent attacking. You think back to Victor Moses, he got the best out of him. So there's no doubt you can get the best out of a talented Ryan Sessegnon. So yeah, that's who I've gone at left back. Who have you gone at left back?
I've gone as well for a Spurs wing back, but I've gone with Perisic actually. I think he's been decent this season so far for Spurs. He's had he's started more games than Sessegnon so far, from what I know, and he's got a few assists here and there. And I think going forward, he's superb and exactly what Spurs fans and Spurs had hoped he would be when he came in.
I
And
disagree with that
I do
one.
really like Perisic so far this season.
I have to disagree with that one. I think Perisic is a honking player. Every time I see him, he's so limited. He just gets an end product, and that's it. Which is good. It's a good asset to have, but
Yeah.
I think Sessegnon is leaps and bounds more complete than Perisic. I know Perisic has had a career, but he's like 30 odd now, and for
Just based
me,
off how the season's gone, I do think Sessegnon has gone under the radar a little bit. Don't get me wrong, but in terms of what Perisic has done in comparison, I think he's done a little bit more than Sessegnon so far.
oh, based off of the season, though, I think Zinchenko's been brilliant. I think Tierney's been brilliant.
That's
I think
the thing. If either of those two players had played all the game, they would definitely be my left back choice because there's no doubt, considering how good of Arsenal have been as well. But the fact that neither of them have really had more than 3 starts in a row, it's a bit of a
well,
difficult.
comment section. Let us know in the comments who you would put left back. For me, I wouldn't. I don't think Perisic would touch the other two, let alone Sessegnon. And I think Sessegnon's number one. Weirdly, as an Arsenal fan, just because of the games in which they have actually played together. We'll go into the midfield. I've gone for a 4-3-3 formation with a sitting DM. And for the DM, I don't think I can look past one player. He's the whole Arsenal midfield at times defensively, and it has to be the man, Thomas Partey. Absolutely phenomenal. Yes, he's had a knock here and there, missed 2 games in the season, but when he's played, oh my God, he is another level of player.
Yeah, he is a really good player. It feels like we're talking about him every episode of every video we're doing. But yeah, he is a really good player, Thomas Partey. He's in my team as well. I've got the same formation as you actually, but he is my player as well as the holding midfielder in this setup. And yeah, considering Arsenal's depth in midfield's not superb, he's been brilliant when he's been there and just anchors the midfield, and he's got decent ball carrying ability as well. So yeah, he's very complete.
The drop off is mad. when it goes down to Sambi, as much as Sambi's talented and clearly he's going to have a good future, he's nothing compared to Partey. No. Like he doesn't. I don't think he's got enough class as Partey's right foot. Like anyway, going on to the other two. Obviously, they're the 2 8s of the system. I've gone kind of biased. I don't know if it is biased because I was thinking about Spurs in midfield. Obviously, they only really played 2 in midfield, so maybe it's not biased. But I've gone with Ødegaard, who I think's been phenomenal, and honestly, the most improved player in the Arsenal team, Granit Xhaka. Out of the 2, I think Xhaka's more secure in this team than Ødegaard is. I think, as in like from this combined 11, I think Xhaka has been absolutely unbelievable this season.
Yeah. No, he has been really solid. He's the player that I'll mention in a second. It was very 50-50 as in who I was going to pick between the 2 players, but I couldn't really bring myself to put. For starters, I think picking a full Arsenal midfield is a little bit too much towards picking all the full team of Arsenal players. But also, I think this player that I'm going to mention, which is Bentancur.
Top of the league. You know you want to.
Mention him, Bentancur. Bentancur. I think he's been really solid for Spurs. I watched him against Leicester, and he was superb. Got a goal and an assist in that game. And when he gets the ball, he reminds me a little bit. He's a similar style of player to Thiago in the way he can win the ball back, and his ball carrying ability is superb, and he's got a perfect final pass. So I think while Højbjerg does a lot of the dirty work, it's so he can play his beautiful passing football. And he's really good on the ball as well. And finally, I've got Ødegaard as well, as you do. And I think that midfield would be really solid. Either midfield would be super. I mean, obviously, Arsenal midfield has been doing well. But if you had Bentancur's driving with the ball ability to Partey's anchor, as well as Ødegaard, who does a similar sort of dynamic role to Bentancur, it'd be a really nice fluid midfield. But yeah, I've gone with Bentancur, just edged it over Xhaka, but it's not. It's a 50-50.
Xhaka's been better than Ødegaard this season. Xhaka's been incredible. He's got more goals. He's been got more goals and assists from midfield Xhaka than he has in any other season. He's mental. Anyway,
yeah, he hasn't been much better.
Going on to the attacking.
Right.
This is contentious. This is I went Actually, I'm changing it last minute. I did have Son in. I'm not having Son in. He's done with it for 1 game. There's no way I can put him in. I'm going Bukayo Saka. I'm going Gabriel Jesus, and I'm going Harry Kane. I was going to put Son in because he was amazing against Leicester, and he's clearly if it was on quality, he would clearly make the team. But because of this season's form, he's been honking overall. I can't put him in. So I've gone Gabriel Jesus on the wing. I think he's an integral part of how Arsenal play. And yes, he plays striker, but I want to get him in somehow because he's been that good. One of the signings of the season in the league. End product is in like his conversion to goals and assists hasn't necessarily been what you want numbers wise, but he's been amazing. Bukayo Saka is sort of the opposite. The eye test says he's not playing his best like he was last season, but his end product numbers, chances created, etc., are through the roof. So it's like it feels different. It feels like he's out of the game a lot, whereas last season it was like Arsenal use him as the whole attack. And I think that is because of the impact of Jesus and Martinelli mean we sort of are more balanced as a team. And then obviously Harry Kane scoring loads of goals, kickstarts the season really, really well. So that's my attack.
Yeah, I think it's a really solid attack, and I've not got Saka in my 11, but as we discussed it before, he has done a lot better than I thought he had done with 4 assists. I thought he's got only 1 goal, which is slightly underwhelming for him so far, but 4 assists, I didn't quite realise how creative he'd been. Obviously, something's got to give in that forward 4 almost with Ødegaard, Jesus, Martinelli and Saka. But as you made a change last minute, I also was thinking, and I've made a slight change as well. And you've just taken Son out, and I have taken Son out as well. However, it's not for the same player you've brought in. My front 3 is on the right, Gabriel Jesus, who's on this team, Kane up front, and Martinelli on the left. I think he's really, really good, Martinelli. And he's shown a lot of promise in the past few seasons, but this has been where he's really established himself in the Arsenal starting 11. Despite Smith Rowe being injured and not being involved for certain reasons, Martinelli really has nailed that left-hand side, and he wouldn't get in over Martinelli now. No chance. I think he's been really good. I've had him in Fantasy Premier League so far, all the way from the start of the season. And anyone who plays Fantasy Premier League, he's gone up 0.5 million already, which means 5 price. That shows how sought after he is. And he's been superb as well. Lots of returns for him. And Jesus and Kane, it's self-explanatory, really. Harry Kane's had a really, really good start to the season. A lot of people were doubting him, to be honest. With some seasons in the past, he's not started as well as people had hoped him to. He's been known to have a slow start season in him, but this season he started really well. And Jesus, he's been really solid for Arsenal. Albeit, I think his numbers aren't as good as his performances suggest they should be, because his performances have been really, really good, but his underlying numbers aren't amazing in terms of the amount of goals he's got and assists so far. Yeah, he's still been superb for Arsenal. So I think
that'll catch up, you know. Like, you only have to watch him and his quality and how integral he is and how he's performing to think that's going to catch up. Like, it's going to be one of them where it'll start off maybe slow and it'll overhang and he'll probably get 15 to 20 goals in the season, maybe. Going on then, we touched on it at the start, but we're going to do the best player in terms of form out of this team or both teams. So who have you gone for that?
My player is William Saliba. He has been superb. He's been a rock at the back for Arsenal. And while Arsenal's centre-back department was already very solid with Gabriel and Ben White, he's come straight in as if he's been playing in the Premier League for 5 or 10 years. That's how solid he's been. And he's been really good going forward as well. He's just provided all over the pitch with solid performances at the back, keeping clean sheets, and also going forward, getting a few goals. Andy, I think he got an assist or 2 already. So he was definitely the one I was thinking of for this.
So mine is a little bit controversial because the standard would be Gabby Jesus or Saliba, but
like Harry Kane even mentioned in this as well, considering how many goals he's got.
I have to go. There's only one option for me, and there's only absolutely one option, and it's Granit Xhaka.
Oh, Granit Xhaka.
Absolutely Granit Xhaka. The man has been absolutely phenomenal. You only have to look at his goal and assist numbers this season and his underlying numbers to show what a pivotal way he's playing. Arteta has done a masterclass. He's changed him into a box-to-box midfielder, pushed him up the field, and his creativity is just flourishing. You only have to look at the goal the other day, in our last game even, where he crosses it into Gabriel Jesus. The ball is so good. Absolutely superb. Absolutely phenomenal footballer at the moment, at least. And the turnaround with the fans has been amazing. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I've gone Granit Xhaka. And yeah, that's it for the team. That's it for the video. Is there anything else you need to say quickly?
No, I just wanted to say, make sure you drop any of your suggestions for different players you might have had in your combined 11 down in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. And turn the notification bell on as well, so you don't miss out on any of our new content as well.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.